This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to our New Gambia weekly talk show. Today is August 7, 2022. Today we're gonna discuss the issue of flooding, climate change, and also how it impacts our environment. We have, seasonal folks here who are into environment, and then we have our guest, Mohammed Hydra, and we have also Yankuba Keita and Sise. They will also be contributing on this end. So Mvamara and Sam Sise, my co-host, Mvamara would be facilitating the discussion, and we will be jumping right in. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sahane. Good morning to everybody, the co-panelists, and also our guest, Mohammed Hydra, from the Gambia Environmental Alliance. He's the Secretary General, and then also he worked before with the Gambia Ozone Hero as well. So he'll tell us much about what they do, especially our topic of discussion today, which is climate change and disaster risk reduction. And then we brought this topic in today because the Gambia has experienced flooding the last week. We know how it is devastating on the life and the livelihood of people in Gambia, and of course our properties as well. So in that regard, our discussion will mainly focus on that. I know today we'll be talking about some local language as well. So we'll be talking to local language so that our message can reach to the people who are actually in desperate need. Probably our message could be beneficial to them, how to, adapt to the climate change impacts, and also how to help themselves in this situation, and then, benefit from it. So, Mbalbe Tentula Bake Mbal Jaila, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nkaiko Nada Jana new platform, Gambia new platform, Dimas, Nka topical discourse Jamini Alonko, Olve Dending, Bankola Nyadu Tala, Nin Kujama Jamalo. So, Nabi Kachabe Dending, Alandaro La Minketa Gambia, Minketa Ning Jibati, Sanjit Baminata Nungol Weekend Tabila. I tinyar bake Gambia bela karoma manke dula kirinda mate Gambia karo bela mchao bari ngajala na capital auto pa mike da bajunti ay tinyar baba kedam kadaje so bi mbola kachala bi na luntangol bi janne ay be fongol introduce la then after then dum kachanyin kono kodi yo ala baraka bake ndeto mu famara dramelati mbara bur futle bar sambe tembing be America banko. Okay, Mohammed, you can go and introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, good afternoon from the Gambia. I am Mohammed Hydra. I am the current Secretary General for Gambia Environmental Alliance, which is a group of volunteers that are working in community-based organization, also working in civil society organization, but mainly focused for environmental conservation, restoration, climate justice, to make sure that Gambia environments are well protected and preserved in accordance to the environment law. So pretty much we are being one of the most amazing CSO that are trying to make sure that we integrate with the government to make sure that they are constantly aware about the environmental impact that are really affecting people's livelihood, as well as the community, especially. Hello, are you guys getting me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So basically, things that are really affecting our local community, to make sure that we put government into account, as well as people that are responsible, to know that things that are really happening in those communities where their voices have not been heard, to make sure that we put all our effort, because it's an alliance that comprises more than 35 civil society organization as well as community-based organization, to make sure that we should not be repeating effort, but to make sure that we put all our effort together and then toward the greater achievement that we are all working toward, that is climate action, and to make sure that our people's life and livelihoods are always protected and prioritized in every act of the government national determined, especially the government national development plans that they are working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. We can have our other guest, Esa.
Someone has a background noise. If you can put it on mute, if you think you have a background noise, please.
Yes, Sajo Kamara. If you can put on your mute, that would be great. All right, good. So good. So we can get the other guests. Aissatou, is it Aissatou Cissé?
Ndeye Cissé.
Ndeye Cissé, right.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon from the Gambia. My name is Ndeye Cissé, a journalism student at the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication. Yeah.
Thank you. And Sajo Kamara, can you introduce yourself? Is it Sajo at the Action 8, right? Sajo, would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, we are not hearing from Sajo. Maybe Sam can go ahead and so on.
My name is Sam Cissé. I'm in Indiana, state of Indiana in the United States. So welcome our guests. Today is a great opportunity. Just like usual, when we have guests, we'd like to give them the opportunity to take the floor and really take us through their area of expertise and their experience. And we will sit back and relax and ask some questions and maybe add a little bit here and there, some comments, but I'd like to give the floor to the guest to, and Farmer, of course, this is his area of expertise as well, to really elaborate more on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Sawane?
Thank you. Thank you for coming, our guest. This is a very important topic right now. And I definitely, think we will have a lot through. So I'm be content the jail and the host of this program and the New York journey, New York City. Allah baraka.
Thank you. And the Yankuba Keta. Yankuba, can you? Okay.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
My name is Yankuba Keta. I work with the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies, but I'm also the founder of Raise the Young Foundation. Raise the Young Foundation is a youth-led organization which was established in 2020. Mm-hmm. And our main aim is to support women and children. And also we have an objective on climate change, which we normally organize cleaning exercises with the Ozone Heroes, and also we are also part of the Gambia Environmental Alliance. Yes, and also we also provide humanitarian support in terms of when there is disaster. Currently, we have even launched a relief fundraising for our for the disaster for the flood victims, which has started yesterday, and currently we are raising funds to support the victims. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sajo, can you hear us now?
Hello. Yes, I can.
Yes, Sajo. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Sajo Kamara, and I work with ActionAid International de Gambia on an EU-funded project called promoting green economy and environmental sustainability. And we're doing a lot with the community people, doing a lot of capacity building training, especially on good environmental protection practices. For example, tree planting. We're also doing, we're training women on climate change and issues. So we're doing a lot of things. I'm working with ActionAid though. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sajo. I'm sure we'll dedicate a program to you because you're doing a lot in the changing the lives of rural women in terms of climate change and environmental sustainability. And we have seen you've done a caravan tour not long ago, and then probably would like to hear from you someday when you're free. We can schedule that because you're working with rural women actually. So thank you so much. and I would like to hear from your
Thank you.
experience. So now we can just go straight to the topic, which is this flooding in the Gambia. We know disasters are becoming so frequent, and they are causing a lot of havoc in our lives and the livelihood, especially in developing countries. And Gambia is no exception. It's not only in Gambia, but even our neighboring country, Senegal, we have seen that the flood has actually caused a lot of impact, and a lot of many African countries. And why it becoming so severe is because the developing countries, our adaptive capacity is too low. You know, when disasters strike, it makes a lot of damages. Sometimes lives are lost as well. You know, and then it takes us a while before we recover from these natural disasters. So I'm going to start with Mohammed, who is the Secretary General of the Gambia Environmental Alliance. I have seen when the disasters happen, they have actually organized a Twitter space discussion, and a lot of environmental NGOs and CBOs came together, and they were giving their perspective on this disaster and flooding. So right now, Mohammed, we're going to go into the local language. So be kumin kacha kanjambi wolom nyin sama ba min keta Gambia nyin lokun tambila ay tinyar bake modul foti ni la jele kantunga mole in NBR dindingol dol biye wolu for lightning number nyin sama ngala so nyin ay dol fondi ni la jele andun tinyar baketa kombo aketa basima fangol to aketa badibu ma fangol Gambia karo bela chew yo nga luntawol min sodo jang luntawol min yalon ko ye experience do nyin do ko ran bring nyin tinyarol keda fana e mantara siring ya make sure le community sol min yalon ko tinyaro keda je itata ye jubil e la tinyarol be ye nyaadile e be dimbal fana ma ko kam family ma ko kan ke bondi e be dingiral min to ke sambad la dolto. So Mohammed, Gambia Environmental Alliance ale mo action na ke right now kabiri nyin disaster hapunda.
Well, assalamualaikum balingol balbe kontonda ko famare ko nyantale Mohamed Hydrati Gambia Environmental Alliance la Secretary General. Bri disaster nyinketa which was last week. It started on Saturday night. I started Cibito la Sudo. I started Gambia because bafokane iko we are focus yabele ko torrent rain before la Gambia. But the preparedness and readiness of na sati la jang atuto koma bake katu monyo abiyesa imulbuka la weda focus kamunfo anu nyinku maya batale kaje ko weda focus dokula li kafime fo ka predict le bodo ma minne ko kafime fo abuka soto bi de man samaje la dulado ama minne ko sama manna butu mojo ma ya mude ko ngodo ko ya bum fo tenga amanda soto la anu Gambia sen do fo te bo munen ko sen bo be ka climate change le fo ni mol ka fo climate change mol be al hawa fa ngo mu fo kan teng wole pomol kala may weda la ngalong ko fenga fimbe falling kane kadu wota mo Gambia kasama mun soro 6 months sana tala tale sen Gambia sen ka 3 months sama le soro anu sen kasama ndingo mun soro sa falling sen do ya ke sama badi do ya ke sama mnen ko anim fonyo baye na sen ko be falling dal hawa falling dal butu nyim flood mun keta nyin sibito mun tambida Gambia jangi kam ye torrent rain a floatana from the Mazun Mazun equatorial end a startana kana Gambia jang but bida frana Gambia jang because of na areas mnenko kafada me flood prone area mnenko de ila jamfo nimba tema amansia bake ala distano be battle so wodlal area ka wol consider ka fole ko flood prone area wala geo fananda ta dula be dan geo nyana kata ni slow bunna wodlal be ka consider as flood prone area why ni na re la jibe sako combo kara west coast region kara KMC kara all the way to Banjul all area ye mapo bondle nun kabring 2016 ka gameno li research ta nun ka tani gameno la ko ala ni area nin blal nen ko ni blal ko tongol ye mun tom monten gol blal man safe ni mo betula je isalon ko woto alla comme ni sama waro be ke ni flood keta alla batabe siala kan mo jema ya lon waye bo be muye sabu ngaje ko nyame muka tudiam la ñe kamul hakilo blandi ko float na kanana kan mo buka float dua ay ke but sama fana mol fana nga nit le kadu sama fana mu ku kendol di bari fana ti ñaro fana siada fana kati ñaro fana nek kan ni sama fana man soto do kula de fama so se do ko kala no mol ba fala ko drar le keri so ñin sama mun keta ñin sibido mun tambida lam ne ka weda me Banjul aning KMC aning West Coast la area wolle flow le problem o face katu wodulal ngafo dami wolle flow area di joka bor ni jema fongal la ajama bab yemu foro kono leti dama bab ye kabye swamp area foro kono wolle lam nen ko molla mankol katara dami wodulal manyana kake mo manyana katara wodula sifaldo way fanan modo fanan bi me blame katu nanne ko katu na system obe nyami aman centralized so meaning ni rafta doku kendola ni rafta karang kendola ni rafta lopitan kendola faisina kombojang so waya na say mojama yela rural area bula kana sawu nan kombojang kana stradlam nen ko imanyana katara dami but wo be fanan ira tankole fanan kuma ata wo be karena stradlam nen ko fanan adi every year yena bata kiri ngosoto so bring flow keta Gambia Environmental Alliance do ngaje ko nyanda ka di be nyoma pele nyame karungal ne ko Gambia jang nim flow na keta National Disaster Management le agency le martala wala nyanda ka lita ka make sure ye call access ka make sure ye yafo Gambia no le ko teninte be kerine anum fana Department of Water Resources work na ya make sure we da focus so fana ye mol update ka mol yamar fendo fana kanana al hakilo to teninte say boli prepare. So one disaster la ko ikapo nyame preparedness and readiness is very very fundamental wo kuma ya bata jele katina ni janding katabe kala alialon ko nyanda ka mechanism jumale ke ale prepare alenda kalon fanan alialon ko kukule kanana dal kania ko kanana wora abon ke surprise wona kira surprise ta ala masibo ka siale modul si fono ni wala ji modul si fono ila dunia nyino bela so bring kera ndol na make sure that nga disaster makoy because ndol fana dogo mu ndol mu environmental group mo nenko nga Gambia la soto mo lahat ka make sure Gambia be ku kono mo nenko al hawa falingola sabu wala weda environment la nyaro be kering nga futa mo la nge yamar wo wala so nga munke wala we reach out to National Disaster Management and in fana Red Cross nga make sure that know what are they doing on the ground pasti bring you flood keta on Saturday night another case Sunday so then on Monday na team otara banju ke mako kulka information access ka household jelle affect so body nara ka mun korosije ka jibe mfonga lonko nyindula de ye nga damen je jiwe damen be tinya abe manke ama fit mo etra sirinje je manke mo wala sidulad je janding molbe sila nunje manko lebe nunje jani molbe sila nunje la no nyim jemu ji bordula le way bri mol nara sije joka bori dame inare je yala bungolo je misama kera manko be nun dame mun ka dina jio kala dum sate la wala jio fana nasiara manko fana ka contribute aba minna nyami ka tala akana sate affect wo be inare manko be kundu ye jebe concrete in such a way that itolo ko ikebe mu yake nyam control ka fa ndo ka ko ikebe naturally nini la environment momo environment nini ike fa nini bake kanu ni fengo fenti nyam ne go adenya dake atinya dake dema ni atinya rek obvious da kam no ko ifon ke fa nini so because of there is a route minengo banjul kono mo jama bu katambi jida bari ka fa dame bon route yemu manole ti munen ko ya de dale akata gin ko masilo mun ke sama poro ko banjul la sube case because of wo silo bri ya de danu ye silo nyinde dale wo fon impact fon kele because bri o silo de danu jio mun ka bonam banjul kono kata badaro aya limbiden aya ke one gate de ka fo jame banjul gol ka je kumandi ndofam banjul gol ka je kumandi pharmacy because of data male that canal soro ka fo dame pharmacy so it's like a bridge sort of muyan ko aka geo allow from inside of Banjul ni ranke ko float siara aka yelele ay geo allow ay pass through inside ay ta bakon so masingo kabring 1996 jani 1996 pango masingo nye problem o sorole bari moman ku ke o masingo mason ka doku nga blawo nya dasi wota mo imam masingo do way mankol be nun jema mankol be la float be yes kilo de dati on mankol be slow be la be way mankol kuntu no what time so in 1996 Gambia yala worst flood experience in Greater Banjul area all the way to Basse from flood in 1996 but Banjul was really devastating so saying pharmacy still na imama but mankol binunje but among come like Gioni was among serious one yama compared to right now what they are experiencing but more experience right now But he signed in recent years, like in 20, starting from 2014, kana up to date, yeah, try to, port la fakala do la expand. So kawo do la expand. So mankol mnengo itol lebe manoni sati tema, yeah, try yo manko bele kun. They did that. Yeah, mankol be kundu to make sure that it can be get a backfield can pull ka more land create. So they know that very well that Konye wo kundu because like the canal is very small and it's an old one. Canal on so that but they know, so that's why we are always advocating for Masakunda ni be fen dokula ye resilient kije. So resilient wolem comme ye fen ye do kursi fa kije munenko ni disaster sotota atela mul batadila bake ana mesha fana necho yala doko ke harba dingo fana yala doko ke anyama isa yete nyo batandila wala mi kam ye climate resilient nga wala mi ko climate resilient isa yeden mole adopt mole yala ko hadi be dame ke body joga borula dem body fen do yem nenko bi disaster keta ade ala mantoro de siala bake molka. So famara nga india mo ndama matra yam ngalam bedla jamalle maka di same time. So bedo fana la ya pay.
Yeah, Binamuru Nekana, thank you so much. So Ndei Sise, Ndei temu journalist oloti, anu journalist ol kumata banko kambake. Kakibaro janjandi banko dinge, isaji muna fanno wala nyame. So budon Ndei atal la fana, atal ka environmental information o, alka janjandi nyadi, especially comme Mohamed Yafu nyame, ala hawala nyim falingo nying. Ani molu bikala ni focus ka bake ba do bi niko bi sama be kala maybe sama manake tumala so tumando akati na mulka jikilate o kibar sifalla so budu malon journalist wala lo black Kenya de information o disseminate to the people inside the mulsa lo be caring ani fona nim float keta nyante tala damen alitaje aliya tandi mulla ko nyinti nyarol bi jam bawo mul nyanta lon nale mimbe caring and ninko journalist ma for newspaper da ma sever lalo but even TV and in the other journalists so malon day atel nyinko abe mulud la kuleto nyinko to
well abaraka bake tolo do ko kom ya ko nyamen dal our basically is to disseminate information kamul haklu blandi kam atandi mola mbeke bankoka especially when it comes to certain issues me along for it's very very unfortunate so ntolo do ko banyamen dal kamul haklu blandi to raise awareness katandi lo ko nyinni beke and what they need to do as a community or as a people coming you flow nin keta ya we visit some of the places to see drama along with affect nin camera tara je la minna my full tara kamul interview katandi like kila full lo moy ko full lo mi along ko bala fa wata dal and what they need what they expect from the government to help them to solve this unfortunate situation but then not stopping that as well but I believe aside from that, as a country, because when we talk about floods or when we talk about national disasters, these are some of the things that are unavoidable. You understand? It's beyond our control as human. So I think one of the ways that we should do as a country is to raise awareness, to keep on raising awareness, to educate people. From Mohamed Yafonyamen, when it comes to, better focus say mol malala dal ni Africa ko man ko nyaati lu kam mi fani mi takal ci am ko nyaati so it's something that is disheartening but as a country nyanta ka kamul hati blandala when people are educated about something or when they are aware about something then therefore they become prepared towards that particular thing but ni ko mi ala ko man telonji they have no idea about because from batande fam pour ka jibe wala pour que prepare towards its outcome so I believe they need to be aware first. They need to be educated. I'm sure when they're educated about some of these things, then preparedness can come. They'll be able to prepare because we cannot keep on. Seeing such issues happening continuously. It was so unfortunate, and this happened the same thing. So I think as a country, what we need to do is to look at some of the issues, if not completely eradicate, because I know that can be, somehow hard. To say we can stop natural disasters, but at least we could find ways to mitigate it, and also early warning system could help. All those things bow down to awareness raising. Because if we have an early warning system system that will predict a particular amount of, disaster that is to occur in a particular place. I know people in that particular, area will be able to prepare. They prepare like in the yakola in the bekela. So, but can not dimba can pangotan can but in yalong say in disaster in Nara or some baketa. I think by doing that, some of these things will be able to mitigate, if not completely eradicate. And also looking at some of the ways, I had Mohammed did mention about that. For Molka, ika bungolo geolosiroka, which is somehow, because you cannot, construct your house in waterways. Because nyaloji ni sama na the geo and the glass. They love more best look and some about water. Would you be able to massive book, is so unfortunate. So I think people need to consider that much. They need to know places where they construct their houses, and also, we practice a lot of afforestation. Then it will be able to sustain that wind. So that's very, very important. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kinde. So Yankuba, human rights dimension, Yankuba Keta, definitely we know that new flood Keta, or when there is flood, always people are struggling to have quality water to drink, clean drinking water. And even our health is also at compromise. And these are all basic fundamental human rights. So your organization, and I know you started some fundraising, you're trying to help flood victims. What are the basic human rights, observations you have seen that people are lacking, especially the flood victims?
Basically, it's a violation of human rights, because when you look at area for environment, you understand, because the government has a responsibility. It's convenient, you understand. It is safe for them because they are putting their resources, their money, and everything. But I think the biggest problem that we have, physical planning has a big play. You understand, because Niajibe, Jani Mobala Cordal Sanna, Anyantaka settle damento, Anyantaka Itanda Marila Foje is fit for a habitat. You understand, for more still no J. But even the country is Congress and order from Kudulato, wo Martinako, Anyantaka Duladi Mola me alonko, Dulame Anko Yalko ni Samana wala Kudonata, Amari de Batadastola. And a violation of human rights. You understand? Right. And in fact, currently, Niajibe, Abeka Nyamen signing. Whatever we are doing, we have Mohammed Yafanyan Olenko, Nyantaka, the environmental aspect of GBJ. Because environment me alonko a jealous pattern. Niko iba cheat like at the end of the day, Akilia battle. Akana fenate and the kaitan did a contable jan. And the Nimu Kuleti me alonko, near Jibe, near Banjula case Jibe. Nimu fenate me alonko, a metaphor. When Rahim Malik Law came out, and in other place, Moli, the Diamka Kuala, Moli Abediamka political, wala kudo. But Memu Walemko, ni Gambia Muntol Beltat. You understand? Ni Monata Kumofo, Alkana Mari Jibe as a person. But I'm not as a Gambian. I can make for far important, the farmer important, 5 cents to the farmer sensor. You understand? Exactly. But but what am not problem, because anytime that more diameter, Jibe Damento Aname Nyaming among Kilia, which is a big problem for us as a country need of a developer, for will be able to aside now funding all support, because near you call Jibe affect back. You understand? I put a Martina funding all Saturday corner. Because currently, there is a lot of fundraising that need stakeholders will mean the community corner Bakaoje. You understand? But Nina Blado for NGP, more many still in Sato for corner. If a responsibility, a big responsibility, because Nia Jibe Fananko, Ntola Bakaojan, got a dinko be ye be suki. Momo Nibela Korda now concrete la, yo be suki. At the end of the need geoman tabulas. Abita dula tinyala me alon ka mena ka tinya because mina ka jamai la silol bulale ka dum la suwol le kono you understand that's so cool ndol fana we have a responsibility as citizens nimbe fenko kala anim fana kom your role important in the society. I was really surprised in Kabintara North Bank. I just recently Kabintara North Bank. Nka nyamul je what muka yirol je. Silol ka I was like caring. You know sir. Wala tina ni fonyo ba nata ake gal affect market. Me along ko tol say memu I would like to thank National Environmental Alliance because your platform le di Gambian hula me along ko because we are coordinated by them and in front of the they are supporting us. It will funk out a small organization or maybe Gambia ke mako kuru ibe activities which is very important. You understand? Right. I think that's what we need, coordination. And I think National Environment, Gambia Environmental Agency Alliance is doing a great job. And in front of we signed a disaster what we are going to do is what we should do is victim support them because it will they need our support now.
Okay, thank you.
Really need our support.
Thank you. We are very happy that you have started supporting in that direction. So Sadio Musol kabata bakele ninyum flood keda ni dindingolo. And then secondly, for na environment or abetinyang kambakele Gambia Sadio. And with you have been going throughout the length and breadth of this country. Ebe Musol engage la, ebe farmers will engage la, ebe karandla on climate change, environmental sustainability. Sadio itela cross roto, nying flood min kedeten ding. Musol nin dindingolo kabata je nyadile, and the environment will tinya.
Abaraka bake kamera ila wonyine karo kuma bakele musoka bata bakele ni aje musoka bata ni aji be hani muso daña famo dam mamu kulete ni alon ka koleral nim float nata wara windstorm nata ibajelal ko jama foye bondi taradulato ye sambadula doto ni ata wodula mo altimi alon ko musote suturo soto la je anyanta soto la nyami akaka kolea ko balti ngaje video kono le mo bungol flota eke kaaje muso katara lori nga singola kabri wo suto fo fano eke dindi ngo mimba bulo kono dindi wala koy kolea beti because mo sa fan kanandi nole ke ba sa fan kanandi nole bari muso te tari ala fan kanandi nola ni dindi ngo adu muso ti tanu la fana ala dindi ngo koma so wol mu fulati ni yalon ko akoleta baba ke ni aji ben action 8 la do ko jama bebe santol to ni last flood min ketate we ni aji be we greater Banjul ma fanne affect bake bari kula mi alon ko is a concern adu ngalon ko maybe action 8 farang will contribute kaji be ñu mol ma ko la ñami do I don't know ibe mo nek la sign bayring ntebe li fola no mbetulita li fola maybe Tuesday le mbe resume la bari nga moy la ko na director ya commandile ya commandi vice president la office le because we have this consortium ni alon ko the three international NGOs will lay a form Wolem United Purpose and CRS and Action 8. So all every year you can falketa it parankela de maro dango kele so nyenang mbe communicate kanenu ne staff folu inata fonyo ko yena executive director command the priority danko vice president of office adunga ko ka command ni issue nyala normally every year nimbe na plan solda dala we normally set aside nka fo minna ko emergency fund so that ninyo nyon ku sifal keta dong se marenyol makoy bari janimbe wo makoy ro kala tel fanan NDMA ke nyo moyle bari tel ke kisi roke tel ni water resources tel ke kisi roke e ka long jumalle mantoro so nyon ko kono isaje nimbe de maro kala isaje kana sey nyono kan ka fo minna ko duplication of effort because nka jelo ko mansa kunda ka modol makoy endi emeke makoy jamale ke recross ke makoy jamale ke so bari jama tel ko information or soto so janin tel ka intervene nka jelo ko ngaw information or soto ko ñi lel affectant tel salon tel fanambe intervene la ñami bar komi nga fo ñamen dron ntel la do ko jama be dirin santol to ni nata CRR South la ni nata ñomi la kata North Bank ma fa na do ko katara diri wol to bake bar tonya ni ñi ko le akol nata ni ñi disaster ñol nata musol ka bata ko kono bakale parce que niaji be musol la katara so kono jama so nil ladula man soto dindol man ladula soto ji seno man soto because of this ko kolya baka musol mala bar hanibi mbem fola do wolem nyenti ko ngandaji kol jibe kendeke ngandaji kol jibe Adun ni nata pour que climate change kumol fo comme moñol ya fo ñame e be commence le be diamo kala ron e ba fala ko ñimo opposition on wara ñimo politician on nin kon na yirwa do kol nin ko di fight against climate change nga keno ñanta kala ñame o fon sa politico bondin sondo mo kon aka ko le ya ba ndel legi ndel fongol formol be mbule mi yanon ko we have what we call the rural women assembly na WhatsApp group also with them, but again nge form le into an organized group. They have an executive everything. Ama me recently ni ke QTBG be yajele ni la AGM soto ya new executive tombon ke fon len ka ku jamale ke legi ka dunde fang pour que ko kibaro dol di la after ita fon ka moy ko ñuno ka fu ko niaje ñimbe ñim fal opposition wala sis against the government adun to nya Gambia mun tel bele tati nim a hatara commune do ya fo ñame decentralization ñanta tala ñame man ta ñam because nim fengo bebe na greater Banjul area jam mi be santoto I faran niole be they are part of the country. They should have their share of the national cake. So wala ne ka bonan je fanan kana sija kurang be janne jiol be janne fongo be janne all social amenities be sola minna be janna man tara santo wala ne ka bonan je kana jam ni ajibe ni na jama aka kole ala pure dula soto mi yalon ko dulalem dula kendole mi sakara no dame so jama ka tara dulal minto commune do ya fo nyamen doro wala ika si jisilol leka jodu na silo ni sita ko na ta man tambi dula soto be tinyaro le kela adun na mol malo ke mira nyamen na physical planning anen na other department sol min yalon ko itelle be marli ni banko la nyato tala bayri ni e kali ye place o tay ko be do ko kala woto do ko jenta kala nyama bar ni ajibe e be yirol kuntula e ke kuntu dameno to e buke josey e ka bungol lo dame manyana lo la je ni na forest park wol na dulal to e be ko kala min yalon ko to nya tel fongol yalon ko na sama batale be ci bari nte jama ntela do ko kata minna nso dorom fo because ntel nka do ko ke jama ni resilient building ka fo mina ko e se jumara ngodi mola ni alala ndarol nata malo ka fo nyame ni alhawa falin wala nyarol nata amari be juma la minna so diala alkam moy la ba
ya ankem moy la hala
okay ni mantorol nata amari be juma la minna so diala wokono wala nanka musol karandi baki wala nanke santon kol karandi baki ni alhawa la falin wala anitel ibe mun keno la pour ko tankandi to nyale ni alhawa falin o keta asekeno tel Gambia ku jama ke o koto bari wo matina man toro man nanka wala tinna ndel se men keno pour kaje ko tel ngam fantankandi ndel nyanta o kala wala na jama tel ka musol raway nke santon ko raway ko ye yirol tutu adun tel fongol ni katanka o yirol tutu adun kaje ko momara ndi yiro men tutu ya topoto ay men bari mbuka dawoto nke karandi fana e ka fo mina CRC climate resilient and sustainable agriculture nke karandi wolda isaje do mandi womi ka soto asa tuno buloko e ka dul hari ngol min do kuno asa yuwanu nke karandi wo practice sol la because tonya glunto ka kenu nyame nin ko mbakela wo nyama sa ngoto soto taken so wala nanke karandi wo sifalla adum buka da woton kam make sure ko nge kujam nge ma ko kujamal to mi yalan ko for example ne mo ma ko gadino to ma fo don ko min ka fo kam musol ma ko gadino ndam ko don gadino jite soto la je good fence ta soto la je ate seat soto la at na lafta storage facility la ta soto no that mam taraw gadin sifal bar gadino mi yalon ko ite fo yalon ko ni mu gadin ke dol yadi musol ye muna fo la sama hani la farol ni man torol le nata jio e la farol ku ibe dula soto la le be dame mota ntel kam solo ma ko wosi fallan ka folla ko resilient building bari mbuka da woto mol min yalon ko ngalon ko they are good at animal husbandry or livestock ngawol fana ma ko ngaji be lafta mum be si fale maliandila ngem ma ko wosi fato samani la kunko fo tinyata hani atare to musitodi la kunko tinyata samale manna ite so muta no le asela hajol to pata sila dimba wala hajol to pato nyen sise maliandol the same thing nka musol fana ma koy ku jamal to minni wol man kilin karandiro be kering adu komi yafo nyamen kata caravanto la nimbe nyin na last caravanto nga mek solo ko nin sefu kilin tata bari ngalon ko kangol be wol fanam bulde nyan sato ko to nyato nya hanila sembol talata nyawnya ni wo sefu tata sefu banko sefu bank ni wo sefu tata je anala moldi yamta mimmun na siloti nga foy nga itandi la ko nimbe siri nga mbulol laño kan mol kanay kan yirol kuntu ke samba mol kanay kan wulol tinyay be siri lumbe sila ni gambe be kala des adot hana astaghfirullah taful because ni be diamo la wato dol modol safo e astaghfirullah iba tiñaro le ba fula astaghfirullah iba tiñaro le bulala folo ni mo tiñaro bulay kam man toro min ni be wala soton adun Gambia kata nyamen fongan na daji kol fali abadati lantel fangol lantel diamo lal fangol ben daji kol fali na nganaji ko mul fana yer daji kol fali bar do ku bale be Gambia adun nimma kemba musol batandila parce que ni wuloti nya musol la kata lo nyen wala pour kanata biro so mun na constant balti musol la kata jobi pour kanata biro adun di mo nga wuloti nya di mo climate change la effect na ibaaje ko ni musol le babata foi ta joni na jam fata nyawnya bita joni la ajam fata nyawnya bita lo nyine na tabiro ka katu musota sido la ajo ko hadi man do maroke woto fumbe min kala do wala min nyenti ko ngan tewal sidi nga kelo nyinke adu nga make sure ko fana police sol min bembul because to nyanto nyanka luwanyi ma ballel dada nyi Gambia ko luwanyi ma bakatam bar mbuko nyi luwal be tamandi anyanta tamala nyame luwal ka tarajele foi ko obsolete abuka review abuka fenki so ninko fiscal planning bembulu lands bembulu Ministry of Local Government hani feng buka keno nyim banko ka nsa min understand no I'm sorry to say it like that wala be keri nyim mol min be sir nyin dulanto land grabbing be keri nyin estate ol be jang e nyante wol be le monitor le nyante wol be le control la nyim mol min be sir ngi silo kam ye ko ne ye samba ya ko dula alim balal malum fo na dia mo le sera ba dal
yeah thank you Sajo thank you Sajo Sam gis nañ ne Banjul the flood was too much yahana lu bari fofu nono at the same time the president has gone on vacation the president has gone on vacation and then also dafa dem vacation mu baye deka bi vice president bi te vice president bi génne na woon na dem seet flood victims in Greater Banjul area moom tam mu delluwaat dem seet flood victims yi waaye léegi dégg na ne dafa dem vacation and at the same time many people are blaming this Banjul project, this failed Banjul project, $40 million that is contributed part of the problem. So ham na sa all of the mun nga ñëwa tuuti rek yow lan mooy sa taxawaay si loolu lan nga gis si mbir mi daal government bi ba pare lu ma jaaxal mooy the government is still yet to declare this flooding as a national disaster.
Wow.
Even though we have lost 4 lives, 4 people have lost their life, and then lots of property damage that wa Banjul ñu ne musuñu gis the type of flood in 30 so many years. They cannot the water resources, the rain that came last week, they have not seen it in 34 years. And then still the government did not make any declaration of national disaster, because if you declare a flooding as a disaster, the opportunity is it allow other resources that we have, the other capacity that we have at national level. We can activate the soldiers and the police to help. We can also allow other, frontline, volunteers to also come, but also the international community. The Gambia is struggling. It's an opportunity for them to also come in and help. But if the Gambia did not declare it as a national disaster or national emergency, then there is no way other governments or donor partners can come in, because they feel maybe, the government is able to contain it. When you cannot contain it, because we have seen people are desperate, they don't know where to go. Sam, so hamalan mo langa gis fana sifana budal.
Thank you. You put me on the spot to speak well.
I know, right? Well, you can talk to my
Man, I feel that
so, but I don't know if I can speak well like that. So, but anyway, thank you all. Thank you very much, Mohammed Ndeye. I think Sajo was just speaking. Sajo, what are the Amola signs? Sajo, be gentle and be jaila, if I know. Kamara kundan kola mngalo mbetung biwa ya domoroka walad na kono para walad na bi diamore nyami ndal kamara kundan kol buka diamo nyama. So thank you. But I will try, Wolof. Not very good, but I'll try. It's more of a said bobuno, but leader for Nekalo Hamne is a failure for our state, failure from our state, because so said for so yini. The fanekalo hamne come nimade was small here. Like if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Going back from independence, suñ dëkk bi, suñ réew mi, amuñu woon proper planning pour cater for today. Ñun liñ gisoon mooy best buñ nekk si best boobu lañu plan, waaye duñ dee plan for the future in Gambia. Loolu tax na indi na jafe-jafe yu bari yoo xam ne gis nañ ko si this later part of the years. You know, so the initial planning moom amuñ ko woon te lii dafa nekk loo xam ne is really tough, very, very tough. I sometimes I even think, where do we start? Because number one, disaster BMA, the president should have come out, would declare Gambia as a disaster zone. They want to not declare Gambia. Mu nekk réew boo xam ne dañ am disaster boo xam ne dina indi jafe-jafe yu bari. Ñu bari ñàkk nañ si nit ñi ñàkk nañ si seen bakkan, nit ñi ñàkk nañ si seen alal, nit ñi ñàkk si seen xaalis, ñàkk si lu bari. Te amul foofu noonu mun naa am mu continuer parce que comme que jeexagut duñ xam yëpp daal ba yëpp jeex. Su boobaa nag président bi waroon naa déclare Gambie loolu. Su ko defee loolu mun a ubbi bunte comme ni Famara doon wax rek mun a ubbi yenn bunte yoo xam ne dinañ mun a deploy our national guard, you know, ñu mun a dimbal ñeneen ñi yoo xam ne soxla nañ dimbal. Waaye not only that, pour international community tamit mun a gis Gambia ne réew boo xam ne la dëgg de war nañoo jokkoo ak ñoom ñu dimbal leen si dara. Ñu mun a xam naka la ko waxee si wolof sax ñu mun a dimbal seen nit ñi daal ñu mun a génn si coono bi ñàkk nii. And also pour mun a plan for the future, what can we do? Lan lañ war a def pour suñu réew mi pour façon bi ñu mun koo taakul. Lii dafa nekk loo xam ne waroon nañ koo plan lu yàgga back from independence la. So bi nekkut président Barrow faulty président Barrow, faulty suñ government ñu fa nekkoon la ba ñëw dugg si tey. Barrow and his government am nañ fa loxo, am nañ fa lu bari lu ñu waroon a defuñ ko ñoom parce que xam nga boo demee béréb nga gis ne fii niñ ko defaree daal wala ni meloon ni mel nii daal baaxut. Yow mi ñëw te nag jarul nga toog di blame ñooñu, war ngaa seet léegi man lan laay mun a def pour mu baaxal lii mu mun a defaral lii daal pour moving forward. So loolu lañu amut and then lii cost na lu bari foofu noonu. So you know, fast forward su ma seetee lii tamit lan la ñoo mën a def again président li mu waroon a def defu ko te disaster bi xam ma naka lañ see génne suñu réew mi because you know balaa ngaa wax nit ñi ne def leen di ak lii dafa fekk government bi def nañ li ñu waroon a def pour ñaaka am liñ ñoo am tey liñ amoon tey. Number one, comme waxkat yëpp niñ ko waxee rek suñ fiscal planning am nañ ko in place te defuñ seen liggéey niñ ko war a defee parce que waruñu woon a nangu nit ñi di sampa yenn place yoo xam ne yooni ndox bi la. Xam nga yooni ndox dafa am ñaari façon yoon, natural yoon am na ak artificial yoon am na fu ndox war a jaar. Natural yoon bi nag mooy yoon boo xam ne ñun ñëpp biñ nekkoon xalal dañ daan gis su tawee rek di nga gis ndox bi ni moo jaaree di daw di dem rek bay mujjee si géej bi. Waaw gis nañ façon yooyu noonu suñ fiscal planning defuñ seen liggéey ñu allow ni ñu sampa yoonu ñu fàtte yooyu yëpp fàtte nañ yoon yëpp yoo xam ne fa la ndox war a jaar dem si géej ba. Waaw so te bañ koo fàtte nag dafa fekk government bi defaral ñu lañ waroon a def mooy drainage system bi ñu waroon a am te drainage system dafa àndaale liggéey yoon. Booy liggéey yoon balaa ngaa gas di defar yoon am na fooy gas nga xam ne nga créatal ko path fu ndox war a jaar su ko defee bu tawee ndox bi war a wàcc si suuf mu am pipe yi moo jaar pour mun a dem si géej ba or at least water treatment center buñ amee loolu tamit waaye yooyu yëpp amuñ ko ñu fàtte yooni ndox bi ba pare defarañ loolu noonu so therefore su taw ñëwee taw bi fu moo dem amul fenn fu moo dem mooy si biir kër nit ñi ak si yoon yi mu block yooni nit ñi fu nit ñi war a jaar fu nit ñi war a tëdda taw bi fa la moo dugga ndox bi fa la moo dugga because amatul fenn fu moo jaar so yi yëpp problème la and we really need to be careful and think about this very well. But su government defoon loolu Then I'm gonna come am ben wakat ka num ko waxe rek Gambia mom dañu defar loi rek for the sake of making laws but duñ ko dé follow duñ dé enforce loi amna pour li ak li waye kan moy follow loi bi government be more responsible for make sure ne loi yoy nonu ñu enforcement and they are not doing a good job in that. All the previous government are not doing a good job up to now. They're not doing a good job in that. So lolu taxna nak ñu dugg ci chono bi ni waye dina gattos mo fi dal you know small of small sorry bu bara di gën update dal burba la ko so I just try
so all of the so all of it they were passing as expectation
mané ko leer na nañ so Banjul project we spent $40 million. And then we saw the beginning of the project when it was starting. The mayor of Banjul was concerned about how the work was going and the money that was spent, that the council was not involved. And then now we have seen this happen just after that. And the people of Banjul, Banjul. All right? And then so it's important, coming now at a national issue, we divorce politics out of it because this is very important. And I want to thank being President Findra and Vice President Findra. They were with KMC, they were putting their heads together, see what is the problem, resolve the president is taxing the KMC chairman to lead the process and then get in touch with the NDMA and the other partners. But the Banjul project, Amamul Nyafa Sawane, Kodi Jamal spent a day and then Doko minketa ya bege concrete o concrete na da GOC and the back Banjul. So saying itala miracle minute ning project ko la koto anin fana masakunda fona load la coming a moy Sadio la nyameng and in the other previous speakers, because the physical planning they should have done a good job, kamol londi la dami alon ko wolam dinkirate mo nyande sabat la dam but all them manke this past few years. So malo mina ila miracle koto da.
Yeah. Okay, abaraka bake Sam. I mean Famara. Ilo area me along ko yu tandem na purunga na ngao diamo. Yeah. So first of all, development fala wala mnyinti ko bringa president oje aning KMC la mayo aning others, mo bebe jahal. Amara mo bebe mul jahal tale menketa. Ay ho inde fo jahal.
Okay.
Because why?
Right.
To our government, they should have seen this coming. Gambia beta nyaming, Gambia bet designing nyaming, Gambia la landmass be nyaming, al architecture be nyaming. It will not alone na ko time based dollar float sikenole. Especially Banjul. Banjul is at the sea level. Manikol ka government abe buy dumala. Hani brinjol school geography nga study near geography study ba fle Banjul be dumala kan geo dumala so fo membe geo itamang ndolman si bare yasodo fenten ne imam fenke Banjul ning ba tema concrete molon ten o wall me yalon ko nin geo na da mola imu o mantara kere be pare ala water table fanan a lotal Banjul ne dingo sin ko fu da geomala because mona island on memo geo surround le ala water table is low. Therefore, my August thought is the capital of Soundilale because I'm unsafe. Only I predict like geographers only I predict like ko Banjul can one day is to willing no le Banjul to la caring the more because so only na capital of Sudoro among could me along it's advisable but still ning government nata inyaka closely the camera moment along ko big more use because member caring mfonya balale ndola KMC area ndebe live in Diamond Tobacco recently na kodi jama put together ndole fango in the area in doku nto ni tamata je poto mutol bukatano mul ko bukatano inji boronara na mo fango tara je abe sambala ndola fensol men be je jiburo yo to duma finkele fon dentara je 2019 dara local ta urka barrier ke je me ko jiburo at it cannot undermine defense because There's nowhere water control no. Water Indian na border no for sukuda. Aka garbage from someone and I found someone. I feel interested look at somebody. Mumala ka somebody I mean. So you know, the first thing Minantakela, especially Banyan project, it will totally ilafta. President Doku Balek Yetunya, you know, another mulu who in charge. Roman spent a J, a man spent coup. It will not a man kill a drainage system of figure out. From there, I told they are more concerned. The concern it was on infrastructure. KJ, Kaji could la baby concrete tele, Mula for when you do tele, Ibuka Kenyon for you, which is fine. But saying, Mam Miroke, Jonathan Talanya Adile, Gisilo la Carola, Cora Dinkul, another Flora Yaman Peta for back on Fabita for water processing center, Fabita Mindole, Imo GBJ. Well, I think I bring you I am also surprised. But you know, you do Yo, so scientific, it was not well planned. Like some California, if you fail to plan, if you plan to fail, you will fail to plan. So, generally, the idea in situation of making the thing, Gambia until we are not proactive. Dollar leader soul will because whether climate change be taken, climate will be changed, Bankola Fanal be Fanko be taken. So to not focus la menkam, Munisiki no Gambia. Avogo ha, Nunto Yimka Kanan GBG. You find about making last year. I boom boy, I mola corrigido sick eyes. I don't know mankeno. Because climate change will be caring. Anything is possible. Any earthquake is possible. So, they're supposed to react. I mean, be proactive. Inanta cool killer like Jenny Akasi. But it button, new goal killer, na Jurumara make a woolly. Alcata, Albenta, Taradaldo, Darajana Jiben, just to make a political statement. Nafatola. Inanda Doko Kelawato is in an entire Jibenale, Munanta Kela. Yeah, Tonya, physical planning way more fail. You boom a corda mulbula, a corda low. Silo kang ika load la waterway dul fon comme na diamula fo nyami Mr Hydra akomul ka bonang in the up dulal men yalon ko mankol beji anu nde fo yo jele de to nyabe dam ben tara 2019 ndara KMC ndara ngamere lati kunda somewhere mayo en sambaji mayo talib pour kata ka environment ni check tonya nde fo yo mol jem sundukun ka fayda min to num mol kata jinorum ko ka bongoloje en ka dinwol je tutulungola je bom fo ko what is going on here wo dula me ka bongoloje je jiolebe ani nyamo e ka bongolo on top of it so amanka nene recruiter mol kata just because il after leave la combo like mbare muso men for me madam mana sise ako mol kana combo le because electric light be jeloto geo be jeloto fanko be jeloto so ikanaje pour ka settle hana tele bita settle do to me an ko geo le beje wala geo la silole so womu government na problem multi because inanta resource diverse la inanta resource sol sambalale kada up pour isaje mol nyar stealing up la inanta make sure that agriculture yemol support pour isitano ira seno la yekodol keno in the rural areas. But sign it not to cool based centralized in one place. All for number bagas will tell me the rural area combo. Your combo jibemba a crowd to a point that mufon bukini you know, and do war among healthy.
No, absolutely.
Near Jibin Sasajama be Gambia because of health. By food safety from quality. You know, at the old law for no like Sasajama be kicking Gambia because aka sound contamination, multi-bulu kula, ibe fengo mutala, imburu muta yake nyimfenko newspaper me alon ko sibna from Europe. Muli nungu fe akang, iwol nada, nkanamburu ngola. There is no sensitivity. The government come to like a total. Kuto, if come man no to go outside the box, purka mirror samanang, membe banko dingol na fala. Awareness. There is nothing better than education. The more man left educate, force it upon them. Education or death. Nimol man left I'll force on them. They will either die or they either or they die. So the government has no motive to educate the people about all these things. Walatina Gambia be suffering the way we are suffering. Science more jihad. I remember assistant only to help this family, these victims. Now my UOLD and in other good-hearted people. So we are stuck. So moving forward, the advice by Kelamendi, just talk more to is that the government has to come with a plan. Yeah, physical plan will fail because anything like in terms of kamula restriction or kamula koda bunglo yemumundembula ita koda laudla. So but the government from now on, let them come with and in conjunction with the National Assembly, the plan will draft kajibe existing structure if the drainage system will implement lanyami. We told that mainly to start working on this project. Now number one issue on their table moving forward. Because you abesiala dunia be change kanne. Nkomma la fi so we have to be ready to do that.
Thank you, Sam. Baraka Baga. So Omar J. AJ Saho Fanasoda joint tempe. Omar is also an environmental activist, environmental and social activist. So I don't know, Omar, you also like to say something? You left kumo fola nying kumo kambang be mid discuss kang olom climate change and then disaster risk reduction, especially nying last Florida minketa Gambia last weekend. I think nyarba keje modul lost still alive lola. So mbolo ko kachakang ala impact nying ninga banko dingol badandi nyame. Yo Omar, I don't know if you can hear us, if you need to contribute like you can. Because emergency management, it has 4 phases. All right, we have the preparedness, we have the mitigation, we have response, and also recovery. And then if you look at all these stages of emergency management, is Gambia prepared? Are we prepared? No, certainly not. The mitigation measures, yes, we are doing some of them. Environmental NGOs and other bodies are, sensitizing people. They're doing tree planting, mangrove restoration here and there. So at least there are some mitigations going on. But our response when it comes to disaster is very weak. And the recovery is almost non-existent because Nico recovery, Kamol Makwe, Kaloi Simfulola. Though of course, yes, Tulo di Mola, Mano di Mola, could get a packet of donate. It helps in the recovery, but it's not good enough. Momi Alonko, Alakorda lose the wall, Bumo Boita. Tulo ni Mano di Ola. It's going to be just temporal. Maybe Trifulas about local killing. Mano in Tulo do my bank. So, but what else? Government is not helping on to that. So, Oman Malo Minimitra take to do in this recent flood in the Gambia.
Well, I flood in the read. I read online and then I look at the pictures, the videos, and then the latest interviews. I was so shocked. I was so sad, and then the affected families, I feel so much empathy for them because they are failed by the very system that they vote for. This might be the Jawara era or the Jalme time or the Abara time. It's a long time near GB because there was never a plan in the Gambia for this kind of incidents. This is the hard fact. The government doesn't have any plan. The CSOs or the NGOs might have at least a little bit of helping the people out, raising some forces for them, but there's no robust plan in the country to help people during this hard fact. So Neo Jibe Mansakunda doesn't have a plan in the simple sense there was never a plan to see how they can catch up in the issue of climate change. They come in for if you look at the rainfall in the Gambia from the in the 80s and 60s, there was a huge volume of rainfall in the country. But then as time goes on in the early 90s, early 2000s, recently, rainfall data was declining. So, but there was never issue called climate change predictability, rainfall pattern. There can be torrential rain, there can be, windstorms and all of that stuff. So, one plan of the water, that was something very, very sad. Banjul is an island, there can be sea level rise, there can be torrential rain, coming like over last week. Not only Banjul, but in fact, you can the water. Those areas are all flood risk areas for the Molad. How do we ensure we have at least a master plan and also a disaster response plan in the country? Banjul or Fajikunda or Talindi Mafia. How do we ensure we go down and activate those people? How do we have at least a body or let's say a plant? We're going to have water engineers, we're going to have hydrologists, we're going to have public officers all working together in collaboration with the Gambian National Army and also the Red Cross to make sure all of this will have their expertise in how best can we collect, how can we transport it, how can we water to make sure money are used again. And above all, the ecologists can look at is there any biodiversity with this storm water. And then public health water officers they can look at testing that particular water, how is the pH level, how is the conventional level of this particular water. While the army or the police force can help you like evacuating the people. So yes, physical planning failed, but then planning failed also organizations, many of them they can be of support in this kind of situation. Yes, National Army, they are taxed with kind of border that can control, but they can also help like the disaster evacuation. They have to get a component, they have to understand about all these dynamics. So what can the Bangkok follow? Because the policy maker, we have to be very flexible to also at least adopt certain kind of like incidents in the country. So this way we're going to have the issue of like, the institutional working group and having all these policies, synergies, policy, working together in terms of helping our people. Yes, climate change going on for over the past 5-7 years. Gambia, climate change affects. But because there is no way in the Gambia if we have at least 2 million people rising in the Gambia, it's a sustainable. When the country, there is no the Gambia can also sustain. Once there's flooding in the Gambia, there is no major in the Gambia, they can at least have the resilience towards that flooding. Because look at Gambia, where the Banjunians, they don't have any major reservoir in the Gambia. Me and Uncle Daka say a huge volume of water stone. Near so water. How are you going to mix the water in Yam? They are Trifana, put most of journey with the car again. Gambia, Germany, and Gambia, there's no water catchment center in the Gambia. Look at the car store. But the water distribution facility, I was so sad because you look at the Tambi wetland, you look at the watering border, the quantity of water. Your BBC pipe when you food with GB or Lake Jim that come and transport on the bank of the wetland. I was so sad. That case is going to New York. At least we like deep machine balaminyalanko. It's a junior with a car pump. Nibe junior pump water at some point there's something I shut down, put junior member at the buffer zone, I try water, I accumulate more. Then from there, they are released again. And then that's had the potential. Because this kind of water, it can become a mini hydro dam to in fact create electricity for Banjul people. Proper infrastructure to water. But you man came around all that line. Nim project we're going to have a project millions of dollars water. Yeah, downsize, yeah, downplay because everybody will have kickback. And once I say kickback, quarrel like a bata, do like a bata. One half a disaster response. But also how can provide affordable housing for citizens too. More about water, in that wetlands, water, water, even like Mansakuna Sino Mundo, not try bang affordable housing load that me and go bank live in that affordable housing. It can become like a community aids. You won't lower, let's say 300-400 houses somewhere in Banjul. You maybe baby tobacco road mafon like Janin that Banjul not mafon like what the MTB to move to the affordable housing. Me within the income cap. It means on a monthly basis. We don't have this housing estate program. Then let's also Bangkok and so what bedroom problem with me alanko. Man prepare water. More than ya for the once there like weather forecasting Bangkok a bit a lack when there was not that built at the initial stage because Bangkok so many times near prediction in the water or they make the forecast at how do you ensure that local community engage the journalists, local radio stations, let them have that sensation program, the community outreach program. You know what? Can you mean for the masala ala kola man? Because somebody know but high money but at least somebody at least because in developed country near forecasting once they make prediction at least there's 99.9% likelihood But Gambia fearless, where there was no trust between the citizens and whosoever now doing better focus in the country. So once the Lincoln Award now, we have sensitized banquet about weather forecasting. But the overall, the point to it goes to the government. We need to have at least these policies. We need to have this, plans in place to make sure they activate every resource they have in the country. Boy, follow me now. 24 hours around the clock. They are supposed to have hotlines. Many are going to call it hot and that's what that hotline. At least they have at least emergency shelters available, ready available for Gambia High School. That's supposed to at least prepare ahead of time.
Absolutely.
BCC, oh, we are looking for emergency shelters now. No, it's not been the case. That plans would have already been in place. Not only Banjul, but Fajekunda, telling the math everywhere, road routes around that area. So we have that plan. Not only about that, but also there are food, drinking water, so you have all that ready-made available for these people.
Right.
Public health, the Ministry of Health, they are not testing the water quality because look at Kerefado, they were making assumptions. But is anybody collecting that water sample to go and test that water? Okay, this is the water quality right now. Let me give it. If you look at okay, filter around, transport. Nigeria that water could have been used as agricultural purpose somewhere in the country. BCC, Banjul City Council, even plan to the way too small. The Banjul and the high school the Banjul in Gambia for 3 good years. It's a problem. They don't have proper tractor. They don't have proper workforce. Put them in the car, the gym, the car transport, car store somewhere. Put Banjul in the gym there. All of us are so Gambia but the main thing is following the Banjul and we're supposed to have an emergency plan in place for flood and other disaster response. What am I doing? Various experts. This might include hydrologists, ecologists, public and environmental health officers, also maybe Red Cross and the Gambian National Army Police Force working together because all of these people they have experts. Exactly. In various areas. Okay, new Gambia, maybe they can qualify in a world. We need to have like the Gambia rescue department. If flooding to the world, the Gambia can be involved. Maybe the Kulung or not the operating or fine. Operating the world. How do we ensure they have reflectors? That can move evacuate from this particular area to another area. How do we ensure the Gambia Health Department can do the water quality health? How can we ensure navigate geometry I provide with emergency water tanks? And how do we ensure the engineering code, the Gambia engineering code for the Gambian National Army can have emergency shelters for these people? So, and then, Adam Barra was so sad, during this national crisis time when
yeah, definitely. Oh, Momo understand, definitely. Thank you so much, Omar. I love Kumol Sahayate Betiata. So, we'll go back to you. I know we're 1 hour into the program, so we're almost running up now. So we'll just go for the final round. The journalist will come out about it. Journalist will
because she has to go and do something. So if you can,
she has to. Okay, so thank you. I mean, Sam, do you have any question for Day? I love that because journalists they are very important. Kibaro Janjandi Gambia Bangkok, especially now this issue. So I don't know whether you guys have any issue or question you want to ask Day about it before she goes. Sawane?
Yeah, no, just let's come with our final words. I mean, if she has any, I mean, like she's on the ground there, and I'm pretty sure Ade Kujamal Jele on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ram. I think I will just wrap up with few things that I will put in place. Gambia as a country, we have a long way to go. We really have a long way to go when it comes to disaster management. Because I could remember in sometimes in 2020, we the Gambia Food Agriculture Organization in collaboration with the Gambia government, they launched a validation ceremony with regards to national disaster. But sometimes I ask myself, is this, disaster management, is really effective, because if it is effective, what we found ourselves in this year would not have happened, because we see last year, that is 2020, the flood that happened, the windstorm that happened. If really we are prepared as a country, I don't think what we experienced recently would have happened. So as a country, we really have a long way to go. The government should put in place measures that will, prevent or mitigate such things to happen, especially vulnerable ones. It's so disheartening, when we go, to interview some of these victims, you hear their cries. It's very, very difficult, because imagine someone who has lost all his or her property. You are trying to help them in their recovery process. We give them back for rice, oil. Yes, it is good, but that is not helping them. What they need, you're not giving them, So we really have a long way to go as a country, and I believe this discussion will enlighten our knowledge, and the government of the Gambia from here will take another step to address the issues of disaster and climate change in the Gambia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you so much for coming, your time and everything. So Sadio, the floor is yours. So Sadio Furasila, kuma labon fo left min for the Gambian collier, be from Makwela no nyadile, nyem flood minketa, kamuli yamari, environment or tankanyala, ben from, tankala nyem kola nyamenda. So Sadio, ngane belundo jibira da mbe sutola na kana program of fonye jambare. Yo, bisela kuma labon fonye, itela miral koto. Ka banko dingol kalam de nying tinyaro be kere anin se fon tankano nyadira.
Okay, thank you so much, Famara and the others. Just to say that together we can fight the effects of climate change. Together we can take the Gambia to another level, and then we should not relent. We should continue the struggle, and then we should make sure that sensitization continues. There is no amount of sensitization that is enough. Somebody just said it here. Sometimes people don't understand when you give them information about the weather forecast, they don't want to believe it because the way we give it to them, sometimes the approach is also wrong. So we need to work on all those things. We need to come up with better plans to ensure that we move this country to another level. It's our responsibility, all of us. No one person can do it. And that's my last. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sadio. Thank you so much. Yeah, and then Sam, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Sadio. Thank you, Nday. Thank you so much. Aliakata back and family afanyamindal. Nyante natala at least another time for a special program. Kamolo highlight $2 for now. So thank you so much. Anyway, Puruka wrap up on the phone. Very, very simple. Nyemukule de meala kwa kumayata baki. And in fact, Mbela Mokan Gambela Newsla, I don't know for Kunungo Kununko, Ngamweko, Dinningo Besasa Kang, it's a sala symptom muneti wala konoboyo ning fono, case Sambalaptanoto and the ning, be more which come from Nime or symptom of the Dinola is Sambalaptanoto, but Jamabe Kono many asoto ifatale, 14-year formula. So, immediately, the first thing that came to my mind is there is a chance that they drank contaminated water. Contaminated because war is another source of norovirus. Norovirus can spread through contaminated water, and in virus can spread through that. So, especially Dindingo, immune system woman develop strong enough procurity fight. So abe jama abe lanjurona wala sidol fondiniola, and it could be mafo wala ketabari nyinsifa na ketana kaka oboka baje. So very important masakunda will step solta mentam beta or tambeta man plan properly, but sign betembo mento wala masakunda nya kasila ka ferol landi ka expert on many mina be Gambia drainage system okay no nyadi bawo silod men blocked all blocked malafi fiscal planning will because of a slow account. They should not have allowed that in the first place. So Bawa Ketala operator, they should take the blame moving forward to avoid something like that. So anyway, about time of that. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, close down Omar for then we can do that. So thank you all. Definitely after me because now I'm Mansakunda Bafoka. Some of these flood victims be sambala la kuto ki relocate da. And nyesifa na nakira nunjamela side min be kotu kware. Ye sambala burfut ndalla farol bi jere no ye wolle di ye la farol leta ye di kotu kware kola. But min nada ke some of those kotu kware kolo inada muruna yo keno min di la burfut ya wafi imurunta kotu again. It had to settle in the same place. You understand? And the same people again, the government is trying to build them. I hope the government have a record of those families. Many alonko ye bla dila adula ni mantareburu right now, so that we don't have to keep building the same people, over and over again. Because needing kotu kware flood ye kejela boom boy la mansakuna na kenol dila. It doesn't cost you anything. You end up selling that land again and then go back to the same place that you were before. So what a makwela at a mansakunda makwela. So until for now, we have to also change our attitude. We also try to help ourselves. Even though much of this blame will go to those government institutions, especially physical planning. Because definitely ne korda soro. Alkalo la kaito katarajele physical planning for us some dajiga clearance soro. So nibe bla wa ka molite fo yana ko blank and then keda farotile before there is a likelihood that ko blank a flood lale. Why would he allow people to settle there? So these are some of the issues too. They are very important. The Banjul project is also a mess because Ngamira, it will improve a lot of things. Coming Omar Sao coming for about the drainage in Banjul, the Kota Dinkul, they should have been, well designed and maybe, at least your fanudom and then whereby it can contain a lot of water. And then also the pumping station because that's what the Banjul project for drainage, the sewage, and then and some of those things. So we didn't see all that happen. And then the president should be able to hold that contractor accountable because 40 million is a whole lot of money. And then Mr. President, why would he go on vacation in this kind of mess? It doesn't tell of a good leader, because molbe sulari la watu mina moleka funtina. But ni moya kada vacation when Banjul farm was flooded. So you drive through the waters in Banjul going to Mankamankunda. I mean, we don't expect the president to do that. And I was expecting maybe other advisors will tell him to even delay it for at least 1 week or 2 weeks, and then see us through this planning process until Kulbe Finke, the Nisinata. But Ning flood kata within a week, it had a vocational dali banko to modo bulu. Then odala diamosiata. So mbal tentula mbal jaila, then maybe Omar Sinan and then Sawarne can close.
Yeah, Omar, you have the floor.
Yes, Famaranyin kind of Pona Jampalambe, Banco di Molminaran for Nye, but and the Manturo la de Kanje, Kajeko signed the Ninkai, Mobile Dinolamenti, Mansakuna Mantabarin Bela Marti, because it's a fellow to them for a word, Jim Farabulu, like Walla Milan, Mantra of the Jama from La Bacle. Sign Minsakan and Dola Madeco, it's a Mansakundala, my current Betul Jico Molity, Yakar Molisa, Kaji, Fooling Plan. So Namansakunda in telephone lamad because Gambia no do Namansakunda or to mail, to the minister, to the parliament wall, like Kajako Misaki Bela Sola Quadi. Kajako Minkala Banjun, a method affect wall, la woman in a Kalamolan daddy. Nin disaster Binala Bangkok, Wale, I calling Abinaka and Asubiaka, next to Colonel Dandalabanga, Subtle Landal, Minialan, Sin Sam, Alice, so Marco Locano. New problem on Natana War Laje. Dimbale wala Bangkok taka le Dimba Balamari, Julie Kinara Bangkok and the Soma Kinara Bangkok and Bakale, and influence Kinara Bangkok and Bakale, sign Fonsa Pera saying a plan of Landibang, Nialan Alamantanka, no Mantoka Bangkok Walla. I definitely but in the world la Kinara Fanalmina, Mr. Marco Cadionadine. Wula Mati Mulimbo Fanala Wall and Mr. Malamunto Prismato Montoro. And then Domoro Kenya Kanya who more and a Jadikan and Mindo because Mindo Nick Bekuna them and the Morpona Kumada Babaka. Sign Punga try saying woman and what Diamun Namansukunda Diam Bunda almost not assembled to Orla. Can Nexo Nanindo Kubunda, a very national army Matibam, full of Tano Lamatibam, for environmental solemn any year for Lamatibam. Ibea Taye Bulu Nukono. Can you come in the Bankoni left I grew at Tanya, the Jurua Bicatano Tanko Poma, Duntanko Panacano, Nengatari Imarila. Nyanto mialan kwa mila wele balula ma imo nyanto de masrono fende 14 yaro ngak banko kanje so ko mayala bakay masakuna sakata yitra lallon di banko kan because Gambia la banko mo wara bake pour kam da ka banko non Africa anyel ko sonala ne atara mbe ko miro lo soro wala nga laji bam fala ko mo ma fon di bam fala kala bon ko ma fon nyomi ma fon di bam man sekunda ya de ko le fon la projet ko le mod ala housing projet ko le modi mo le minam ke bulo me ko benno wala e man toro la da ma fon la ke no di sasa zone so lon ye mo te evacuate sambo woda ni e bondi woda ya maxo woda ni yam te ade revamp e jemo te ya ke mi woda katmen sandi wala man sekunda illicit ko woda mi ala ko man toro mo dakala banko don la ko ten sainde ne mo le minam ke yin toro kono nga jibe bam ina balu woni be kala nyaade le comme ngi be don remen de mala woda el sibango nyi ani la jioni man sekunda try ay fanna ko wala pro ka jibe hande ngatar a janala banjuna high school mbo wonda Gambia high school ni sene gostin ni sene ci bolle mati wala I bolle medal ya ton into like housing agent am project shoulder it's okay on at least they incorporate a high school aspect of it because so bulum tala ye boy ye bunjangol lo wala ye you know a high school keje and then training sene ki wala while bulum bo ma fa wala it last wala so it needs ka engineer la contact le ye health officer le contact and then Gambia mi ko at least the himars yam te abi put together program ma ko ni yurwaldo and then ni man to sivana lamba kala ka ko kenya dele so ngaka try for ni singo sada ko ngambe wulale wote kan no ngata nga wuli juna ni ko nga kolje bina ka sada mon la nyamten so wala mon tele ko mala mon tenten kale ko ni nga ni to wata bakel banko dingo la mati jendo ni ko ni fa sa try de nga ke ko ngundo donte dal ndama sa ko ndala ma ko nyimbe ko nyaron ko okay ala baraka bakel.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Omar. Yeah. So, Haidara Natale, Mohammed Salah, final words for, then I can close the show. Welcome, Mohammed. Mukemoy. We're not hearing you. I think you are on mute.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, your final thoughts.
Okay.
Before we close.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is a very interesting program. Unfortunately, I could not stay for the entire program. I had a low battery, so I have to rush home, again, and I just reached now, unfortunately. But I think this is really amazing, even though I wanted to share my view as well in one of, but I'm glad that I believe our audience will be able to understand that what we are talking about, these are things that are really affecting the people's livelihood as well as their life, because climate change is everyone's concern, and then the issue needs to be something that we all need to engage ourselves to make sure that we listen to each other. It's not only about the policymaker, but about others, as well as our own social responsibility when it comes to our own society. We have to play our key role to make sure that we mitigate this crisis from happening, because most of these issues that are completely affecting people's livelihood as well as affecting our society at whole. These are things that are done by humans. And when it comes to the policy aspect, we have to blame, or sometimes, we have to blame ourselves, because sometimes we are the one that bribe those policymakers to make sure that, they do the wrong thing. At the end of the day, we've been the one to pay the consequences. But yes, still, what we believe is that let's try to make sure whatever we are doing, we integrate climate resilience in everything we are doing, in our projects, in our development, to make sure that, because climate change is here to stay, and we will continue to, face all this kind of climate crisis in the subsequent years to come. So therefore, we all Ghanaians to be responsible in wherever they might stay or wherever they are trying to reside in. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Sawane, and thank you very much, Mr. Sam Cisse and Farmer, for having me on board. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. So yeah, thank you everyone, for coming. I think this was a very fruitful discussion, and I hope our government, the stakeholders will all gather something from these thoughts, and then we can look forward how to build our country using some of these thoughts that have been discussed here. There's nothing impossible, and then there's nothing to say that we don't have the money. If you prioritize something, you can do it. I know like you say, physical plan has really been the big elephant we've been hitting up the whole time, and of course our leader, the president. But the fact of the matter is that is done already. People have been situated there. We have to just devise a way how to make sure that we have a system in place that will allow our waterways to go to the right place and let them get processed and contained, because this is going to be happening. I'm telling you, nowadays, climate change is happening. You're going to see things that we never seen before. And we need to be prepared. I think from this moment, we need to. And then Fabara mentioned, President taking vacation at the time of a crisis it doesn't show a good leadership. A leadership, you're supposed to adjoin your vacation and then stay in the course and on top and giving brief to the nation, giving us confidence giving the citizen that, listen, we have this in control, we come up with some plans, giving them, hope. But people who have lost their lives and then lost their properties are still wondering when the next rainfall comes, what is gonna be the outcome? And you pack your things and go on vacation, come on, and leave the things in the hands of the vice president. No, this is a time that we also come together in solidarity and leave everything on the side and making sure that we bring hope to the people affected and then moving forward. I think we need really a leadership at this time that will do that. Second, finally, we have to understand that nature is not something to that we can fight against. Nature is a force, either we like it or not. When God brings this water, whatever ways it comes, it has to be contained. Even here, in what happened in down south just recently, even in other developed countries, when natural disaster comes, it handles, but people have system in place to mitigate the damage, to control it. I think that's what we are not looking at. We need to understand that we have preparedness, not like active to be active. You have to be proactive, not to be active. Because if you are active on it, you go reaction wise. I mean, when something happens, you react. That's not gonna do it. So I thank you all, and then we thank everyone who has definitely been out there helping out, and hopefully lesson learned. And moving forward, we will hear some prioritization in this area, and then we will all feel this thing safe again. So I thank you all for coming. Sam, Mohammed.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, Sajo, thank you.
Thank you.
Sam,
thank you everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Barbara, good job. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Tony.
All right.